I did a video on block, aka Square, a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned that the $51 area was my target if the bottom was in. That target came from the breakdown a couple of months ago in price when the monthly candle breached and then eventually closed below the big time support level. Now I do want to retrace and go back to, I had two levels of interest. This was the pandemic lows, and want to go back and figure out why did I mark off this area here. So let's do that. Let's go to the weekly chart because that's where it bounced off at. All right, so I don't see anything here, so let's go down to a smaller time frame. That might be a gap fill. All right, so there we have it. This was a gap fill on decent volume. All right, so that's why I had signified that area. Now what about this area here? Let's go back. That must have been a level that I noted. You had a rally in price, base and candle, rally out, price tried to come back but couldn't. So there were definitely buyers here. So both levels worked out. Now, where's price heading next? And why did price gap up? Well, let's go get into the article and then we'll look at where price can go from here. So block share surged on Friday, but in pre-market Friday, when they announced their earnings on Thursday after the market, they raised its annual forecast for adjusted profits, joining rivals in brushing off worries of an uncertain economy weighing on consumer spending. Their rivals include PayPal, which also announced decent earnings and saw a pop in their stock as well. Market beating results from the Jack Dorsey-led digital payment giant capped a broadly strong quarter for a sector tied closely with consumer strength and purchasing power. Now we saw on Friday the jobs markets created less jobs than anticipated, which is why the stock market rallied. So I'm not sure about the whether the consumer strength and purchasing power is coming back or still waning. It also expects to be profitable on an operating income basis in 2024. The company also expects to reduce the size of its overall workforce by the end of next year, according to the financial chief in a call with analysts. Adding Block is embarking on a broader cost savings program. The financial chief goes on to say, we have identified a number of areas where we expect to find savings, such as real estate, process improvements using automation, and discretionary spending. With consumer spending in the U.S. continuing to tread largely positive waters, analysts expect sales during the all-important holiday season to climb. I agree with that. Boosted by retailers offering deep discounts on most products to lower buyers. Now, gross profits for Block's Cash app climbed 27% in the quarter compared with a year ago earlier, while the Square business reported a 15% rise. Again, along with their decent earnings, they also initiated a $1 billion share repurchase program and said the move will offset a portion of dilution from share-based compensation. Now, one thing about Block is that they are a Bitcoin holder, and when we look at the list, they definitely make the cut at number 7. And so, as Bitcoin continues to rise, Block is going to benefit. All right, so now going back to the charts, we got to zoom out to the monthly chart. I think over time, Block can move higher, with the next target being at the daily sellers level at $83. As you can see, there are really no major sell levels. These are extended range red candles. Let's look at how things look at on the weekly chart. Alright, so you have this drop, you have this area that that price has to deal with. And we're going to denote that as weekly sellers. And you have this area as well. So the next 10 points or so will be challenging for price. This weekly sellers level and this pivot should serve as headwind. But if it can clear that, if it can clear the $60 level going into the end of the year, into next year, again with the Bitcoin halving coming up next April-ish, block can continue to rise, and this will be my medium to longer term target at the daily sellers level at $83. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.